Hey everybody, the weekend is here, and that means it is time for Last Call here at MLSsoccer.com. Our look at the top games heading into the weekend. Jonah Friedman here with armchair analyst Matt Doyle. And Matt, let's start counting them off. Number 5, Philadelphia hosting the Chicago Fire.
What are we going to see from Philadelphia? No Jack McInerney this week. Antoine Hapano has a facial fracture after that headbutt from Nelson Rivas. It's kind of a question who we'll see up front. Maybe Jorge Palaza? You don't know. And it's a concern because at this point, Philly need to get 3 points every week if they want to stay in the playoff hunt. For the Fire, they've been up and down, won 2 of their last 5, a couple of losses that draw in there. They haven't strung together results like we saw down the stretch last year. And part of that is just they're getting to know each other. They have a whole new attacking core pretty much. So we'll see how they get on the same page. Flaco Fernandez is expected to play after that twisted ankle last week. I'm expecting him to bloom. I'm expecting him to really show what he's made of in Chicago. I think he'll fit in really well there.
And that one is on Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern. It is on Galavision.
Number 4 on our list, expecting a good crowd at BC Place as Vancouver host RSL.
And these are two teams that have kind of been trying to find their way in the Western Conference standings. RSL have really missed a chance to overtake San Jose atop the conference race. And Vancouver have plunged from 1 to 3 to 4 back up and top again in that race, and they're looking to get back on track. RSL, they have not been a good road team. Their last win on the road was back in June, and this is a good time to get back on track. They've got a couple days off from Jason Kreis this last week after all that travel, especially in Champions League, and they're going to need it. Vancouver, on the other hand, still trying to find their form. Looked pretty good in that loss to RSL a couple weeks ago, but they're still trying to figure out their new formula. Angle to watch in this one is Joe Cannon is out with a red card. That means Brad Knighton, who has not started a game for Vancouver this year in league play, will get the nod in net. Should be a good one.
That'll be Saturday night at 7 p.m. Eastern on MLS Live.
Number 3 on our list, the newly crowned U.S. Open Cup champion Sporting Kansas City hosting DC United.
Will there be a post-Open Cup hangover? That's the question on everybody's mind. Really a special moment for Kansas City this past week. It's something I think every fan of the league can really appreciate because that fan base has been through so much. But that said, the team have not won in their last 4 in league play at home. They're just not finding easy goals. DC, on the other hand, struggled through most of July, but seemed to come alive a little bit last weekend. Chris Pontius on the spot again for another game-winning goal. He's been fantastic. They'll want to string passes together. Sporting Kansas City, as always, will do their best to stop them and make the game ugly. Real contrast of styles in this one.
And that's going to be Saturday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. It's on MLS Live.
Number 2 on our list, a bit of a grudge match as the Quakes host the Sounders.
Yeah, and you talked about U.S. Open Cup hangover. Seattle, they are exhausted, and they are heading out on the road again. San Jose, I'm sure, sitting at home watching that game, just loving the fact that it was going into extra time, and they've circled this date on the calendar. The last 2 meetings between these teams have ended ugly, the last one being in U.S. Open Cup in June, which ended with Eddie Johnson sort of riling up the San Jose bench a little bit, and that's how San Jose likes it. It's going to be a very tight game, and San Jose would like nothing more but to pay them back for that. Frank Yallop is suspended for this game after the red card he got in the Chicago match, so Mark Watson will be patrolling the sideline for San Jose. Alan Gordon also out with a red card suspension. That means that Steven Lenhart is going to have to play up top and get underneath the Sounders' skin. It's going to be a good one.
That'll be 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Saturday night on MLS Live.
Number 1 on our list, the 25th regular season edition of the LA SuperClasico. Chivas USA hosting the LA Galaxy.
Not really a rivalry because the Galaxy just hammer Chivas year after year after year. Chivas USA have only taken the season series once. That was way back in 2007. That said, this year they won the first game 1-0, lost the second game last month 3-1. So whoever wins this game takes the rivalry for the year. Right now, however, it doesn't look like Chivas can score. They have 14 goals on the season, and even against LA's pretty shoddy defense, that's not going to get it done. LA, on the other hand, have really had all pistons firing offensively. The 4-0 loss at Seattle last week really seems like an anomaly. They're 7-3-1 in their last 11 games, all 3 DPs, just finding the net, finding each other, attacking in waves. It's been something to watch. They look like the strong favorites in this, and they're starting to look like the team that I think we all thought they would be at the start of the regular season, kind of an offensive juggernaut.
And that one is going to be on Sunday at 11 p.m. Eastern. It is on ESPN2. There will be a live chat on MLSsoccer.com. Don't miss it. It's a big weekend, and it kicks off Friday night with an Eastern Conference top-of-the-table rematch between New York and Houston. Make sure you check back on the site all weekend for recaps and reactions from all these games. And don't forget, the U.S. roster expected to be named on Sunday to face Mexico next week. Check it out.